I have a section to cover today on complex numbers. One of my favorite topics in mathematics, actually. So I'm thrilled to be able to do it with you guys. But before I do that, since you have this quiz on your mind, should I go over a little bit of it? I mean, I thought at this point, I don't especially want to go over 1 through 5, because if you can't do that, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe 5. Well, I don't know. But I do want to do these equations. Yeah, I want to talk about these. Okay. In particular, number 8, right? But let me just kind of give you a quick go through of what I would do with these. So for number 6, maybe start. The trick, I would say, might be rewrite it as r equals, what do you write over here? 1 over sine of theta. And so maybe what you did then was you multiplied both sides by what? Multiply by sine theta to get to the next step. So then it's r sine theta, which is something I recognize, equals 1. So what do you get? Y equals 1. Now, if you use your graphing calculator and if you typed that in, how would you type that in? You don't have a cosecant button. Well, I guess you could type this in, right? If you typed in 1 over sine of theta, it should have given you a horizontal line at y equals 1. Okay? So you should see that. Now, for the second one, the trick, I think, is to multiply by r on both sides. So then what you see is you see r squared equals 3r cosine theta. And again, I see things I recognize, right? R squared is the same as what? X squared plus y squared. And over here I get 3x. And I've shown you guys this kind of thing now. This is a circle at this point. If you want to know what the circle looks like, what you probably do is you bring the 3x over to that side, leave a space, and put your y squared there. I guess it equals 0 at that point. And now you have to do the process called complete the square, right? I don't know. Would you give someone credit if all they did was just put this? I don't know. Got to figure that out. I mean, it's a circle, but do I know you know it's a circle? Maybe I'd look at the graph. I like pictures. But anyways, I think it's important to know your algebra. So I always love it when I see completing the square. You do half of the negative 3 squared. And of course, means what? Thanks, guys. Times. Okay. So negative 3 halves squared equals, hey, there we go, 9/4. So we're actually here today. All right, so good. 9/4, 9/4. And so, wow, I'm out of room. But you really do get x minus 3 halves squared plus y squared equals 9/4. So if you were to graph this, it's going to be a circle. The center would be at 3 halves comma 0. And the circle would actually, since it also has a radius of 3 halves, the circle goes through the origin. So that's the game. Okay. All right, now, yeah, you asked about number 8. Tyler's been very patient. I appreciate that. Of course, we know the graph. What's the graph look like? It's a parabola going right through the origin, an opening upward, right? So we know what the graph looks like. I guess the question is, can you, well, for y, I can put in r sine theta. And I guess what I have is r cosine theta being squared, right? So what do I get? I get r sine theta equals r squared cosine squared theta. That's nice. I can't really put it in the graphing calculator, though. But what you can do is you could do something like this. You could say, hey, let's divide by r. Now if I do that, now I get sine theta, well, now the whole thing blanks on me, equals r cosine squared theta. Are you allowed to divide by r? That's a variable. You are as long as r doesn't equal what? So it's kind of funny because what's going to happen is we're going to divide to get the final answer just r by itself. We're going to have sine of theta over cosine squared theta. Okay? And I guess the only thing is you'll have lost the solution r equals 0 is another solution. Or r equals 0. But if you type this in and graph it, you will get the parabola. It'll work fine. And then this r equals 0, of course, what's that mean if r equals 0? Where are you? You're right there at the origin. Okay? So, anyways, I was pleased with what I saw. Regardless of the scores, you guys are learning things today. All right, and that's what this is supposed to be about. So, we'll take a look at it. Over the weekend, that's my homework. Now, you guys have your homework you're working on. So, I guess